This is Radio City Talk. Rock, sport and talk for Liverpool.
Good afternoon. It is Wednesday afternoon. I'm Connor Phillips, and Jack Nicholas says that Tiger Woods, both golfers, needs all of our help following his arrest on a charge of driving under the influence on Monday. A police report released on Tuesday said Woods was asleep at the wheel of his car. It was stopped on a Florida road, and he did not know where he was. The 41-year-old former world number one has blamed the incident on medication. So, what is the situation with Woods? How is he going to be seen now? Does everybody in the golfing world need to get behind him, or do we need to give him his privacy? Let's see what the situation is. Let's talk to Alex Elliot. Now, Alex is a golf caddy, a pro, and a man who spends a lot of time on the professional tour as well. Alex, first of all, thank you for your time today, because I know it's a really busy time of the year. No worries at all. Tell us about how we now see Tiger Woods compared to how we used to see Tiger Woods, and it's gut-wrenchingly horrible to talk about it and to see it.
It is. I mean, this is a man who was probably in his peak a very, very private man, whereas now, I mean, probably in the last 5-6 years, we've only seen the good things that he's done. Is really he's won 5 times in 2013, but bar that, he's only been in the media for really the incident in 2009, where that controversy where he crashed his car with his wife, and then now again last week. I mean, it's whether he can come back from this or his injuries. I'm not sure which is going to be worse for him, to be honest.
So what are we getting, or what are we hearing, or I'm sure you'll hear more on the tour as well, about exactly what happened? And I know there's a lot of grey areas. We're obviously waiting for official statements and stuff as well. But what do you understand to be the situation as to what happened with him?
Well, to be honest, I've heard a few stories out here. I mean, one of the stories is that he actually blew 0 on the breathalyzer, so whether he should have had a mugshot or not was kind of a bit controversial. So everything, I think, about it, I don't think we'll ever find out what properly happens with him. Like I say, he's a very private man, but it's interesting because he's been, like I said before, he's only been in the limelight really in the last few years for something he's done wrong. And you said earlier, should we get behind him? And I think people of my generation or a little bit older, I think they will get behind him because everybody looks like kind of a hero. He's kind of been the best golfer the last 10 years. I mean, I think he's only missed 16 cuts in his whole career. And just to kind of put that in perspective, Jordan Spieth, who we all kind of know and love now, he's missed 17 in his short career as it is. So things I'm hearing out here is, I think that it's probably, it can't be drink because apparently he's blown 0 a breathalyzer, but it's certainly some medication of something. That's what I've heard. Right,
so he will need to be medicated for a bit because he's just after his 4th or 5th back surgery.
Yeah.
And he did come out a couple of weeks ago to say that he was feeling better than he had felt in quite some time. Do you think the two are linked, or is it hard to sort of separate them, isn't it?
I mean, I was quite surprised when I heard him obviously say he feels the best he has in years. I mean, only shortly after coming back from back surgery. Now, whether that is the medication that is basically masking the pain and making him feel great and be able to move properly and swing how he wants to swing, that we can't speculate on. But definitely they possibly could be linked. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, we won't know, and I suppose, like you said a couple of minutes ago, will we ever know? I'm not quite sure if we ever will, but we're sending positive thoughts. But talk to me from an injury perspective, right? You're a PGA pro, you're a Challenge Tour caddy. You can go and have a look at all the bits and pieces that Alex does there on at Bunker Style as well. From somebody who picks up a back injury in golf, it really is probably, bar the sort of inside knee, the back is probably the worst place that a golfer can pick up an injury, but at the same time probably one of the most frequent injuries in golf.
Definitely. It's especially with the golf swing, like the back and the core is definitely like the power source. And for somebody like you've probably got two kinds of golfers. You've got kind of a golfer that kind of moves the ball and kind of tap it around the golf course, or you've got a power player in Tiger Woods. Now he really uses his back, harnesses energy, and hits the ball a long way. So for him, I think he has to be 100% fit in order to kind of compete. And if he's not, I don't think his golf swing works the way it should do.
We're looking at what Jack Nick. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I was saying with the golf swing. So whether he can come back from, I think he's strong enough mentally to come back from these two setbacks, as in with the media and with the law. But whether he can actually come back from a back injury, that is something I think we've got to think about more seriously. I don't know whether he can come back from the injury as opposed to these setbacks in the media.
Why has he had so many setbacks, do you think? Because we see golfers who have setbacks, who go out injured. I'm even just thinking in my head now, I can probably pick 5 or 6 who've been out for maybe 6 months at a time trying to get certain injuries sorted. Do you think he's come back too early, too often?
Possibly. I think a lot of other players will probably agree, or physios would probably agree. But then you've got to think this is a guy who's been number one for over a decade, and he's kind of taken over the golf scene, and he's probably shaped a lot of the golfers that are out on tour today. So you'd think he'd have the team around him to say, yes, you can go ahead, or no, you can't. So whether he's stubborn and he's just competitive nature, wants him to get out there and compete, at the end of the day, he knows if his body's ready or not. I mean, he could have all the fitness team and physios behind him, but he could say his body's ready, and whether it's not, I'm not quite sure. I mean, for me, I definitely think he's come back too early a few times, which is why he's been set back. Because like you said, Connor, very often people come back from injury. Yeah, they're a bit kind of touch and go for a few weeks. The game's not quite there, but definitely after probably a month or two, the game's there and the body's there.
We do. We send him our best. I genuinely hope that he gets this sorted out, and I suspect we're going to hear exactly what happened. I'm looking what Jack Nicklaus has told Sky Sports, because obviously, Woods is 14 now. Jack Nicklaus had 18 major championships. He said, Tiger, I always thought was going to break my record. I don't know what's going to happen now. Does anybody want to see their record broken? Of course not. But do I want to see someone not have the ability because of physical problems? It's very hard to see him coming back and even getting his hands on, I'm not even going to say a major, one of the big championships in golf at the moment. It's very hard to see that.
I agree. I mean, even a PGA Tour win, say like a normal tour event, I mean, the talent's so big now. I mean, you probably got, in the last 4 weeks, you probably got a new winner every week. Like, it's not the same person, whereas when he was in his pomp, he would turn up most weeks, and I think he's only, like I said before, he's only missed 16 cuts in his whole career, and that was 142 in a row. So that kind of puts into words and the figures of how dominant he was. And like you said, like Jack said, he would like somebody to have the ability to take his majors. And to be honest, between Jack and Tiger, I don't think we'll ever have someone as dominant as those two would be in their two different kind of careers in different times of the period.
I'm just seeing what it was called. He had in April, he had spinal fusion surgery, a 4th operation in 3 years on his back, which has limited him to 3 tournament starts within 2 years, which even just hearing that makes me just sort of quease and wince.
Yeah.
It's just, I do feel for him, but we hope he does well. We hope it sorts itself out. And I'm with you in this one here. I'm not sure how much of a reason there was for a mugshot, and a publicly aired mugshot as well, because it hasn't done him any favours. He's clearly on some sort of very strong medication. But, right, we wish him well. We hope he does well. Alex Elliott, tell me very quickly, tell the listeners of Radio City Talk, who are we looking out for in the next couple of weeks that potentially could show someone like Tiger, or show the records Tiger has, and at least maybe start to build on some sort of career? Have we got any new golfers in there? Are we thinking about the likes of Matsuyama, who's done very well over the last number of months? Is Shane Lowry likely to come to the fore over this next 3 or 4 big tournaments?
I mean, I'd say either those two or Justin Thomas. I mean, he looks very strong. He seems to have the ability to play in the wind, play in all sorts of conditions. And towards the start of the year, he looked very, very dominant. But the last few weeks, he's not been on peak. But then these guys sort their tournaments, sort their schedule out to peak at the right time. So for me, the one I'd be watching out for, I think Justin Thomas will have a good majors, good last few majors of the year. That'd be one of my picks. And that's like kind of a European. I'd like to see Shane Lowry do well. I mean, he's a very talented golfer. He's got everything he needs in order to perform on that big stage. But then again, you've got another player. You've got even one from now and there. Tommy Fleetwood. He's looking quite good at the moment. He's been very dominant. So it'll be, as a kind of a home person, it'd be great to see Tommy do well too. Yeah,
we had Tommy on the show not too long ago. I think he's sitting at world number 17 or something like that at the moment. Something really ridiculously brilliant like that. So we'll keep an eye on him. So what's next in the big golfing world? What are we looking out for? And what are you out enjoying?
Well, currently I'm on the Challenge Tour this week, caddying in Switzerland. So we start tomorrow off at 8:30. I'm caddying for Tom Murray. On this week on the European Tour at the Nordia Masters now, Matt Fitzpatrick is defending that. That'll be interesting to see. His game's not quite been there the last few weeks, but you never know with these top guys. They go back to an event they've won before, they get the same feelings, and it could just kick-start his season and to the majors coming up.
Tell me about the majors coming up, and call a winner for me. I love putting golfing experts under pressure like this.
So my US Open pick would be I like Justin Thomas. My open pick, I think Rory McIlroy will do well. And I'd fancy Henrik Stenson to be up there. So I'm going to go overall Henrik Stenson for the next major.
Okay, Henrik Stenson for the next major. Writing this down and putting money on this as we speak. There we go. App used. Always gamble responsibly. Listen, brilliant talking to you. I don't know what the situation is with Tiger Woods, because every time we talk about him on the show, something else happens, and then something else happens, and something else happens. And I think collectively, Alex, all we really want to see is him back on the course and winning golf tournaments. Everybody wants to see this.
Definitely. I don't know many people that aren't a Tiger fan. He has kind of personified golf the last 10 years. And for me, I'd love to see him make a comeback, not only as kind of just for himself, but kind of for the golfing world. I think the golfing community needs that kind of figurehead, that one person that kind of unifies everybody and gets people interested in talking about golf, because we only seem to really talk about golf in the media, apart from sports channels, is kind of when someone does something wrong, and we need him back leading golf again.
Yeah, we really do, and we will report on everything we hear on this in the next couple of weeks. Alex, I'm sure you're going to be on the station right throughout the build-up to the next batch of tournaments. We wish you well. Enjoy Switzerland. Best wishes with your own work as well. PGA Pro, a golf tour caddy as well. And get on, have a little look to @BunkerStyle, and you can see some really good stuff on Golf Across YouTube. Alex, thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me again. Really enjoyed it.